Hello everyone, welcome to Doodle Economy. Quick question. Have you noticed something lately? A few years ago, you could walk into the supermarket, grab what you needed and move on. But today, it feels like everything costs more. Eggs, coffee, rent, gas, even fast food. So the big question is, why is everything so expensive now? Some people say companies are greedy. Others say the government messed up. But most of the time, the real answer is this one word: inflation. And in today's video, I'm going to explain inflation in the simplest way possible, using one key term you've probably heard in the news: CPI. If CPI sounds confusing, don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it means and why it matters. Let's start with CPI. CPI stands for Consumer Price Index, but don't let the name scare you. CPI is simply a way of asking, how much more expensive is normal life compared to before? Imagine a shopping basket. Inside that basket are the things most people buy all the time: food, gas, rent, electricity, medical bills, car payments. CPI measures the price of that basket. So if that basket used to cost $100 and now it costs $110, CPI tells us prices went up 10%. That's inflation. Now here's the part people truly feel. Inflation is not just a number on the news. Inflation means your money is getting weaker. If your paycheck stays the same but prices go up, then you're not really earning the same, you're earning less. Let's make it super simple. If you make $5,000 a month and prices rise by 10%, your lifestyle now costs $500. But your paycheck is still $5,000. So every month you're short about $500. And that's when you start cutting things. Eating out less, driving less, shopping less, canceling subscriptions. Inflation forces normal people to shrink their lifestyle. That's why inflation feels personal. So now the bigger question is, why did inflation happen in the first place? There are three main reasons. And if you understand these three, you'll understand most of modern economics. Reason 1, too much money chasing the same goods. Let's pretend a town has only 10 apples. Normally 10 people want those apples, so each apple costs about $1. But then suddenly 100 people show up with cash in their hands. Now everyone is fighting for the same 10 apples. What happens? The apple price goes up, not because the apple changed, but because demand exploded. That's what happened after COVID. Stimulus checks, low interest rates, money flooding into the economy. A lot more money was spent, so prices rose. Now reason 2, supply chain problems. Imagine the apple truck breaks down. So instead of 10 apples, the store only gets 5. Even if demand stays the same, prices still rise. That's what supply chain problems do. Factories slowed down. Shipping got delayed. Materials became harder to get. Less supply means higher prices. So inflation wasn't just about people wanting more stuff. It was also about the world producing less stuff. And that leads to the third reason. Reason 3, housing and energy. Here's what most people miss. Inflation isn't just groceries. Two things quietly push inflation more than people think: housing and energy. Energy affects everything. If gas gets expensive, shipping gets expensive. And when shipping gets expensive, groceries get expensive too. Then housing. Rent is the biggest monthly expense for most people. So when rent rises, people feel broke, even if they still have a job. And in the past few years, housing has been a huge driver of CPI. Now you might ask, okay, inflation is bad. What can anyone do about it? This is where the Federal Reserve matters. The Fed can't directly lower grocery prices, but they can slow the economy down. And they do that using one tool: interest rates. When the Fed raises interest rates, credit cards get more expensive, car loans get more expensive, and mortgages get more expensive. People borrow less. People spend less. And when spending slows down, prices stop rising. That's why you always hear, the Fed is fighting inflation. But here's the downside. When the Fed fights inflation, it can slow the economy too much. That can lead to layoffs. So yes, inflation goes down, but recession risk goes up. That's the trade-off. So CPI isn't just news. It's like a warning sign. If CPI stays high, the Fed stays aggressive. And if rates stay high for long enough, companies slow hiring, profits fall, and layoffs start. That's how inflation can turn into a recession. Not always, but often. Now let's make this practical because this is what really matters. Inflation is not just a headline. It changes how you should manage your money in everyday life. Here are 5 simple inflation survival tips. Number 1. Track the big 3 expenses. For most people, inflation hits the hardest in rent, food, and transportation. If you control these 3 categories, you can survive almost any economy. Number 2. Avoid high-interest debt. When interest rates are high, credit card debt becomes a trap. If you carry a balance, inflation is already hurting you, and the interest makes it worse. Number 3. Don't panic buy or panic invest. When prices rise, people often rush into decisions, but emotional decisions usually cost more money. Number 4. Learn the basic indicators. If you only follow 3 numbers, follow these: CPI, interest rates, and unemployment. Those 3 tell you where the economy is going. And number 5, stay calm and stay consistent. Inflation makes people feel scary, but the best strategy is simple. Spend smarter, save more, and keep learning. Because in the end, inflation is not magic. It's a system. And once you understand the system, you stop feeling confused. So today we learned CPI measures how expensive everyday life is. Inflation makes your money weaker. Prices rose because of demand, supply issues, and housing and energy. And the Fed fights inflation by raising interest rates. In the next video, I'll explain something that confuses a lot of people. Why do interest rates make stock prices fall? If you want simple economics explained with doodles, subscribe to Doodle Economy. See you in the next episode.